recording so that we can make sure that we have the option of posting this one up onto YouTube, as well as you guys will get that email from Zoom, typically the day after, whether you are in here, whether you are not, with a copy and the links of these recordings. There's always a password there. Just note that a space is considered a character. So if you're putting passwords in and you're hitting space and then enter, that space is counting as a character. So try not to do that. I think that's the most common mistake that some people do. Zoom is also now putting periods sometimes at the end. So if there's a password there and there, just make sure you include the period. Don't include the brackets throwing that password in. Just so you are, they're just going to change the way that they share those links now with us. So today, what we were talking about is Facebook, right? So we've talked about our websites and adding content and things like that. But now it's using and leveraging our social platforms. So whether it's going to be your Facebook or it's going to be on Instagram, they're both connected essentially. So you can manage that all through your Facebook side of things. But there's just some simple things that I just wanted to share with you nonetheless. So in your Facebook, so I'm just going to go and I'm going to go back to my homepage. This is a secondary Facebook account for me. My main account that some of you are probably my friend does not look like this, or my profile picture does not look like this. I have a secondary account because Facebook decided to lock down my ads account, and so just creating another profile was the easiest route to go for myself, and just giving myself access to run ads for myself. So when we're having our website, so as an example, whether it is our lead gen website, so again, it's our site that is like this, whether it's branded or unbranded, you can grab pages. So whether you have a page here where it is already filtered to listings, whether it be like that, or maybe you have the branded website, which would be the training branded in this case. Let's go branded. It's going to more or less, you want to be able to share that information, right? So getting it onto your social platforms, and also, in some cases you may want to boost posts as well. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that. If this decides to, did I do this right? Why is it taking forever? Come on, go faster. Maybe I'm getting the URL wrong. Something's going on. So whether you're wanting to do that, I'm just going to make sure I have my source actually correct here. So let me just clear this and add my source right here, and training basic. That's what it is, not training branded. Come on now. Come on, Crystal. Basic. There we go. So whether you have your full-fledged branded website, things like that. So whether it's your blog post, again, it's just copying that URL, right? So if you have a blog post and you want to share that on social media, or if perhaps you're taking a listing and you're wanting to showcase that listing on social media, you're just opening up the listing and you're grabbing that URL. Now, on your Facebook, you would open up your page. So I'm going to use this page just as an example. I did a little earlier where I was posting on here, and I just, did it. I'm going to do it again. So this is one right here, testing showcase of listings, right? So I had one person obviously click on this to see what it was. So I'm just going to create another one here. And basically, once you put that URL in here, it's going to populate, right? So it's going to populate everything on that listing. This is now the link itself right here. So if we have the link, we can choose, it's entirely up to you if you want to remove the long-winded URL from above. Then of course, you're going to write up about this listing, and you can add more to it. So if you want to include get some WhatsApp messages off of it, maybe you want to get some calls with respect to this ad, you can definitely add those to the post as well. And then you also have that ability to boost your post. So boosting posts is a great way to really season your Facebook page. Now, if your intent with the post specifically like this, where it'd be a listing, Boosting your post for a minimal fee, probably not your best bet at getting many leads from it. Boosting your post is a great way to encourage people and bringing your page in front of larger audiences, and then being able to invite them to like your page. And you can do it for quite a low cost. So you can do it on, as you're posting. You can also do it afterwards as well. So if we go post, and I'm just going to post this one here. Some people will probably click on this one again. Because I chose to boost the post, it's giving me that option right here. So now we're going through that setup to boost it. So seasoning your page is putting you in front, getting you in front of a larger audience, things like that. It doesn't have to be real estate related. So people love motivational quotes and things like that, just simple things. Use Canva, get creative, do stuff, and then you're boosting it. And you don't have to spend a lot of money doing it. It's really just more or less bringing awareness and getting engagement, people engaging in what you're doing, and finding people perhaps with similar interests and qualities. So you can change. So the goal with this post is, Google or Facebook is going to default to automatic. You can change it. Right. So if you want to get engagement, so again, if it's just something motivational and you want to try to bring it out there, people love it. I think my highestly marked engaged post that I boosted was really just a kind of a motivational quote that everyone seemed to like, which got me increased my page light significantly because of it. If your goal is to get more website visitors, that would be more of a traffic. If you want more messages, more leads, things like that. Facebook's analytics and Facebook's analytics is taking a look at consumer behavior on the Facebook platform. So if you are looking to get engagement, Facebook is actually placing this in front of people that have a higher likeliness of actually engaging in posts. Okay, so they take those different audiences and people's behaviors and put them in front of people accordingly based on how you wanted to do it. So we would, most cases, if you're trying to boost likes or to get people to like your page, you would choose engagement. If you're trying to get traffic, you would do more visitors. Alina is asking how many goals can you select? Only one. You can only select one goal with the boost for that. Now you can boost a post and run an ad at the same time for the same thing. So there is that if you really want to go through those efforts. I'm just going to leave it on automatic just for demonstration purposes. You could change the button as well. So if you want, somebody to call now, send WhatsApp, whatever it may be, you can change the button that's included on there. Or you have no button. If you don't want a button, you don't have to have the button. Now you will, so special ad category. In this case, because I am sharing a listing, I would have to turn this on and select housing. Okay, well, there's certain requirements when you're selecting housing because you're realtors. Any ad specific to real estate in general is a housing. You have an ad category for that. So you have to specify that. Google will take down your ad. If you do it too many times, they will close down your ads account. So don't do that. If you are doing something motivational where you're just taking a nice picture and you're adding some text to it, making a nice quote and posting it, that is not special. You don't have to put it into a special ad category in that point, okay? So for ads to do with real estate, the requirements for this, and Google and Facebook, they've all kind of restricted what you can do, but you cannot discriminate someone based on their age, their sex, or their location, which is really crappy when you are trying to target specific areas. So with that being said, if we are in the housing category, you would have to have a specific area. So let's say I was choosing this one here. This is fine. I'm 30 plus miles. But let's say I wanted to change this audience and I wanted it to be Mississauga. It would have to be Mississauga and plus a 15-mile radius. Okay, so I can't just choose Mississauga. I can't just choose a specific postal code. It has to be that plus a 15-mile radius. And you have to have your age from 18 to 65 plus. And you cannot discriminate against people. So we can't not include people from seeing our ad. Basically, we can try to put it in front of people that have a specific interest, but we can't not put it in front of some because they don't have something. So that's just, I guess, their way of control. I don't know. Real estate is different. I find that we tend to target people because or areas because that's where we focus our work. But unfortunately, they've kind of hindered it. I can promise you, any ads you're running, you're not going to get 18-year-olds or very, very, very few who actually could care less about your real estate ads. Let's put it that way. Now, your duration. Right. So when you're doing a boosted post, if your goal is to really just bring awareness and get those people engaging in your post so you can, invite them to like your page, you can do it for $1 a day. So you can post, and that's as low as you can do it. It's $1 a day, do it for 7 days, or do it for 5 days, but $3 a day. So you don't have to spend a lot of money doing this. And so you can update this. So 7 days at, let's say, $2 a day is $14. So it's just bringing awareness, things like that, or you can do it 7. I believe it'll allow you. There's sometimes where it says you can't. So yeah, it's $1.27. So then we would have to bump this up to maybe $10, and that should probably get it. I'm not going to run this. I'm just giving you an example. On the right-hand side, it does give you, how many people it'll potentially reach, how many potential link clicks you would get from it, and then kind of gives you that breakdown of what payment is going to look like. It does offer you some ability to add some pixels, things like that. But if you were happy with all of what you were doing to post, you would just boost it, right? So you're going to boost it this way. Sorry about my little nut in the background. So that's really how you do it. Now, on your Facebook page specifically, you're going to have that ability to be able to invite people to like your page. Now, you can even do this if you have a post on your Facebook page and then you share it on your profile, like your regular profile page. You can also do it if you're running ads. So I'm going to go back to my homepage and show you, I'm going to leave this, I don't want to boost it. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go into this one here. This is a page that I know I have not invited anyone to like anytime recently. This is a page of a family member. So in here, you're going to, on any of your business pages, you're going to go to publishing tools. Okay, you might get this weird thing with Meta and all this stuff. Facebook likes to change their platform about every 6 months. I swear it's very frustrating, but that's essentially what they're doing. Here you're able to see all of your posts. Okay, so some of them you are going to be able to boost them, right? If you see that the engagement is high on that, that could also be an indication that people on my page currently like what they're seeing. This is an opportunity for me to boost this. Because I'm going to definitely get a lot more engagements from people outside of my page if the people that like my page currently like it, or people that are associated with this page are currently like it. So here, what you would do is you would just click on the ad itself or the post. This was just a post. We can see that 14 people reacted to it. Now, when you scroll down below, it's going to give you that ad or that post itself, and you can see here the engagements. When you click on the number 10, it's showing you everyone. Anyone that's liked the page, you obviously cannot invite them, but I can invite all these people that aren't currently liking the page to like the page. So I can increase the awareness of this page by just doing that. So I'm able to go in and invite several people. Now, all of them I can't say are going to accept my invite, but I'm going to try. Right, so that's a great and easy way to be able to invite more people. So again, if I was to take a post and share it to so I can share it to my profile, or maybe not in this case, not from here. You can also grab it from that page, share it onto your profile. Then the people that are not people that like your page are going to engage in that, but that engagement is going to show up in the back office of your page itself, not your profile, where you'll be able to invite them then to like your page. Okay, so that's one creative way to be able to increase your audience, is just by people and their activity and what they find interesting. Now, the next thing we're going to do is jump into your ads manager. Now, I hate this side of it. I'm going to go to ads. I can swear that Facebook keeps changing everything on me and not really loving it. So I'm not even going to go here. What I'm going to do, and I don't think I can even do it from here, is not even, yeah, so can't even do that. So here, what I'm doing is going into your ads manager. Okay, so I'm going to include in the recording that you guys are going to get from Facebook, but it is the business.facebook/ads manager. That's going to get you into here where you can, fully create an ad. Whether you can essentially create kind of like a boost, right? You can create it so that it is the awareness, things like that. I'm going to go back to my home. I got to unselect these current ones that I have. Okay. So all of these are in draft. I'm going to turn these off just in case something weird happens. And I want to unselect everything. Now I'm going to create, and it's going to ask me what I want to create. Okay, so typically you're not going to have to unselect anything. It's just because I was previously in here on the earlier session doing things, so things were automatically selected. Here you will have your different options. So same idea, awareness, we're bringing awareness, right? So it's brand awareness at that point. Traffic, again, if we want people to come to our website by clicking on the post or the ad, that sponsored ad, and they come to our website, we're doing a traffic. Engagement, again, we're trying to get people to engage, right? Like, comment, things like that. Leads, of course, that's your leads form. That's one we're going to go through today. If you had an app to promote, I don't know if you do, but you may want to at some point in your life. And then sales is if you had a site that you would basically be selling products off of, like a Shopify website. We're not doing that today either. So here we're going to do the leads. This is when you're on Facebook and you click learn more and this little form pops up and it's already pre-filled with all your Facebook information. That's what a leads campaign through Facebook is, essentially. So we're going to choose this one. I'm going to pick a different, one I'm going to do. In this case, I'm going to go condos, Mississauga. Okay. I did Toronto earlier. I'm doing Mississauga now. Now, this is going to be a special ads category because it's having to do with real estate, right? So we are selecting what country we are advertising, and there is some guidelines in there, some requirements, things like that, right? So it'll tell you that with respect to everything. Now, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff here. Now, you are going to want to do an optimization, of course. You're going to want to make sure your campaign budget optimization. And a daily budget should be, if your goal is to generate leads from your ad, you want to spend at least $5 a day, at least. So setting that daily budget to $5 a day at least is your best bet. Now, once you've gone ahead and done all that, you are just simply going next. Okay. Here you can do the same ad set, so condos, Mississauga. And in this case, we want the instant forms. That's what we're looking for. If you have multiple pages, it's going to ask you which page that you're wanting to run this ad off of, and then your schedule. So when you want to start this ad, once you hit publish, basically, is what's going to happen. And then end date. So I wouldn't specify an end date when it comes to these ads. They do perform a little bit differently when you do. Google know, or Facebook knows there's an end in sight. Whereas if we leave it just running continuously, it's going to perform a little bit differently because, Facebook doesn't think there's going to be an end. So they're going to try to really, perform with this ad. You're not going to get a bulk of stuff all at once. You can always turn them off. So you see me turn them off. It's better that you control when they shut off rather than you having a really great campaign running and then there is an end date and it stops on you. Like that is the most infuriating thing that you could also have happening to you because it's almost always never going to turn back on and be exactly what it was the time before. It's not going to perform exactly the same. Now you can do audiences, so you can save audiences. So if you have save audiences in your Facebook, you could use one of those. You can also create your audiences as well. Now your location is where you're targeting, right? So depending on what your ad is for, most of the time you're going to have people living in or recently in this location. If you're running an ad that's perhaps targeting sellers, and it's Mississauga, let's say, and it's 15-mile radius, it's fine. But we want to make sure people actually live in that area. On a buyer's campaign, we don't care if they live there because they could be moving there. Now we are going to select the area. So it is selected Canada here. And so in this case, I want to target Mississauga. I'm going to do that. And then here it's going to default to that 15-mile radius. So it's kind of covering all of this area. I can definitely increase this if I wanted to make it a larger radius to expand the number of people in my audience. Again, we're not going to touch this. And you can do a little bit of detailed targeting. So you can target based on demographic, interests, and behaviors. So this is where you can get creative as well. So if you are trying to attract individuals that perhaps share similar qualities as you, because those are the people that when they sign up, you're more or less going to hit it off a little bit better than somebody that you have nothing in common with. So if you wanted to, specify anything, with respect to, the behaviors, things like that, it's really just interest, more or less. So if people are, they don't even include everything in here, so I don't know why. But maybe you were, big in, I don't know, chemistry, I don't know, catching, poaching, something where they used to be able to, and because it's on the housing, that's where we're limited on here. I tried to, do running, and it didn't even give me that. It gave me this. But you can do people that are interested in real estate or realtor or like stuff like that, which is kind of boggling. But I can't seem to be able to target people based on their outdoor activities for whatever silly reason that may be. But you can definitely do that. So that's a great thing to also be doing if you're maybe wanting to do an engagement ad to try to get people to like your page. Instead of boosting a post, you do the engagement ad. And then that one there will give you the ability to invite people more so because it's not housing restricted, where you can really target people based on interests and things like that. Because I can like dumb it down right to people. I can put like Tiger Woods in here because I like golf. People who like golf probably like Tiger Woods. So you can really target down a little bit more detailed in that way. Now you can do your placements. So automatic placements is when Facebook is going to place your ads strategically, right? Where they feel it's going to get the best traction. Now some people want to manually control this. So you can change it so that it's only on mobile or desktop. If you only want people on mobile to be able to see your ad, you'd be able to do that. You can also choose which platforms it's going to run on. So if you only want it on Instagram, you could do that. Or maybe you want it on everything, right? You can then show the placements, like where do you want it? Like maybe you don't want it in the video feeds. Maybe you don't want it in Facebook stories. You can kind of pick and choose. Most of the time, you're pretty safe at doing the automatic placements. It's just really if you're wanting to be a little bit more particular about that. So once you're there, and it'll tell you as well with your audio definition on the side, if you're too specific or if you're too broad, it's going to tell you to kind of like, you got to narrow that down a little bit. Now we're going to go next. And then we're going to just call this again, condos, Mississauga. It's good to name things in your ads manager because once you start having more in there, you want to know which ad is which, right? So if we don't give them names, we have no idea which ad is which without having to open them up and go through all of everything. So it's good to just name them that way. Now you can choose, your identity. It's your Facebook page. If you had your Instagram, so if you're running on Instagram but you don't have it connected, it's still going to run. It's going to connect people to your Facebook account. If you connect your Instagram account, it's going to be running essentially through your Instagram account. So you can connect your account if you don't have one. Now, when you are creating your ad, you can essentially do a single image or a video. You can also do a carousel. So a carousel is a great way to be able to showcase listings that you may have, right? So a carousel will allow you to have multiple different pictures for them to sign up on. It's also great as well as if, let's say, you focus in a specific neighborhood or a building and you have the permission to advertise those listings, of course, that you maybe want to showcase a few of the different properties available there to gain more traction from it. Entirely up to you how you do it. I am going to just do the regular single image or video. Now, often it's going to default with the banner that's on your page. So you're going to probably want to change that. So here you're going to change it so you can edit, change the video or change the media, edit, or you can turn a picture into a video if you really wanted to. So here we're just going to change the media. You will show all of your stuff that are on the page already that are associated with your ad account. So those are the account images. You do have potential business image if there was any business creatives that you have, Instagram images, page images, and things like that. So those are all there. So I'm just going to go account images. Let's just do account images, and I am going to pick. Let's just pick this one. It's really fun. And go next. You can also obviously update or upload your own pictures from your computer as well. Here it gives you a recommendation as to, let's maybe do that, move that around there as to what you may want to crop, or you can replace this one here if it's not sized properly and use a different image for the story and reels section, okay? I'm just going to go done. I'm not going to spend too much time, but now we have that image there as now the creative image for our ad. Now we want to add to this. Okay, so I'm going to pull up something and I will definitely share it with you all as well. And that is my bold text generator. So we want to be able to grab people's attention with our ads, right? We want to have intent in there. Make it realistic. If you're doing a buyer campaign or you're trying to generate any kind of buyer leads, offer something that is realistic, right? So, searching for homes in Mississauga with basement apartments, right? Like that's something that would be realistic. Sign up to receive all the luxury homes in your neighborhood. That is not realistic. You're gonna get a lot of tire kickers with that one of people just wanting to know what all the luxury listings are. So the more realistic it is, the better traction, as well as, the less tire kickers you're gonna have. People actually have some level of intent. It's realistic. So, looking for a condo in Mississauga. I spelled that wrong. I'm just going to do the same as I did earlier, under 800K. Right. So this one here will actually bold it. So you can't bold on Facebook. Like I can't go in here and type and bold the text. It just can't do it. So I'm just going to go Control V, paste that in there, and now it's actually got that bolded, so it stands out. Right. Here, you can add emojis as well. Be careful with how many emojis. You don't want to crowd your stuff with emojis nonetheless. You can populate the emojis. Now, I do not know the short code or the shortcut, I should say, for an Apple product. So if you're using a Mac, but on a Windows, you would just hit the window button on your keyboard and the period. And it automatically populates. So Windows and period will keep this, and it even tells you here to use emoji in any app. Apparently, you can use it in all apps. You can type. So I can even go, type question and do like question like that, right? Something like that. I can put a house in there. I can do whatever just to try to draw some sort of attention to even more so this. So here I'm then just going to X that out. And then perhaps remove this one because we don't need that one because we've got these two giant ones instead. Sign up below. See all active listings under 800K. Just something simple like that. You can do a little bit more. This is just, I'm trying to do it quick for you guys. Now, the headline, this right here, is what's going to show right here. right? And so what I'm going to do is just go condo listings under, just kind of repeating everything I'm doing, 800K. And so if we go here on the right-hand side, you can see it's right here. If that, it'll say form on Facebook. You can change that. So if you wanted it to say something different, you can. You would actually do that display link right here if you want to. It's optional. You do not have to put in this display link. But if I was to, to do www.agentlocator.ca, that's what's going to show there. Okay, apparently I put a 6. There we go. So it's going to show right there. If you wanted to add a description, it's up to you. The description is like the smaller text. It's not bolded, and that's what's going to show under this bold part here, just like a little brief description if you wanted to throw that on there. So that's your ad creative. It does give you, different, shows you how it's going to look in different places. Now, what you want to do is essentially use a form. Now, each ad that you create, you are going to want to utilize a different form if you plan on feeding these leads into your Agent Locator CRM system. Now, in order to feed them automatically into Agent Locator, you would need to have the automated system to do that. If you do not have the automated system, you can set up Zapier to do something similar where it's going to feed the contact information of these Facebook leads into your Agent Locator CRM system. But if you're using our system, you are going to want to differentiate the names of these forms simply because when you're integrating in your CRM system, it's distinguished based on the form that was used ultimately. So if you had 2 ads using the same form, you wouldn't be able to set it up, and it'll make more sense when we go and look at the CRM itself. So I'm just going to go. You can copy a form though. So maybe this was the form I wanted. I can just basically duplicate this form. Okay, and so we can duplicate, and I can kind of walk you through it just by duplicating. So in here, I'm just going to call this instead Mississauga condos under 800K, and I'm going to remove the copy. When you are setting it up, it's going to ask, what type. Do you want more volume or higher intent? If you want more people filling out your form, you're going to go more volume. Higher intent, it's just a little bit more, you get less leads in that sense. Now your intro, you can change this background image. So that's just this right here behind you. It often does, and I'm wondering, I don't know why in this case it didn't, but often enough it would actually pull the image from the ad or from your page. So in this case it didn't, so I just changed the image to throw it in there. Then you can throw that headline in there. So to get all the listings, so this is bold right here. And then the description is this small text right here. You can remove the greeting if you care to. You then have your questions. Okay, so you have a full name, and I believe it was email. I'm going to trash the phone number just so that you can see. When you set up yours, you're only going to see the full name and email. So you would add the category, contact field, and then do phone number. Okay, and you can move these around. So typically it starts like this. So I always like to move the first name, like the name at the top of the form, and this after. You will be required to throw in a description here, just basically telling people how their information is going to be used, essentially, is what it's looking for. And then you can go down to the privacy. So the privacy is you're going to grab that from your website. Okay, so you're going to go onto your website, whether it's your branded website or if you're going to be sending them listings through your automated site, grab it from there. You just grab the privacy policy URL right from the website there. Now, when we go back, we would throw that in there. You can change it if you wanted to. It's up to you. We typically just leave it there. And then your completion. So when somebody completes their form, you can change what this says. Right, so you can change the things you're all set. You can, write a little bit of more information if you care to. And then there's always that call to action that people can do. So if you want the call to action for them to go to a website, download something, or call you, so you can change it so that they call you, you can definitely do that. If they view the website, you can change it, change what the text to say, right? You can also take this as an opportunity to try to get people to sign up for home evaluations at the same time. They're already signing up for listings. Why not try to get a home evaluation at the same time? So you can do it, see what my home is worth. Right? You would tell them what they're doing there, and then you would link them to your home worth page in this case. So I am just going to, let's just go call business in this. No, that's just not that. It's just website. Visit website. And it's going to do agent locator again, just to keep it easy. All right. So then you're going to publish it. So the one great thing about these forms is that if you're missing anything from the form, Facebook is going to tell you, so you can go back and fix it. Okay, so if you're something in here that is required that they need you to do, it'll tell you before it'll allow you to publish it. So in here, there's a description. I had to add a description because apparently it's removed. So I'm just going to write description and go publish. And there we go. So now we have the Mississauga condos under 800K is right there. Then typically what we would do is everything is here, everything is good. You can preview, so you can do an advanced preview, all of that stuff. So I'm going to back out. Often you would publish it. Sometimes you might leave this open and save it in draft, because even when you do publish it, it takes some time. It goes into review. Facebook's reviewing. It doesn't just go live. So you do have time to action what you may need to action through the CRM system. So I'm just going to simply close this for now. I'm just going to close it. I'm not going to publish anything in any way, shape, or form. Now we're going to set up that integration in our CRM system. So I'm going to clear this. And there's a couple steps you're going to want to do beforehand. And sometimes it's your first few goes, or if you haven't done this, you'll go back, because I do it all the time because I always forget the step. So one would be creating the source. Right? We want to be able to differentiate in our system where these leads are coming from, especially if you have multiple campaigns going. We want to know exactly where these people are coming from, as well as it allows you to associate campaigns with that specific source, right? So if you just do Facebook, you don't know which Facebook ad is performing to get those leads, right? Other than going on Facebook to see that. So I'm going to essentially just copy this one, but change it. So I'm going to add a new source and go like this, paste it, and then I'm just going to change this to Mississauga. And then I'm going to save it. Okay, so we can see here. There, it also tells you how many leads you have from that specific source as well. The next thing you may want to do as well is create a campaign now based on this source. So if we have essentially, if they're signing up on Facebook to get listings, you maybe want to create a new one. Now, again, what's great is once you've created a campaign, you can keep cloning that campaign. So if everything's quite similar, just tweaked a little bit, you can just continue to clone the campaign. So here I have the Facebook Toronto, that's a clone that I just simply cloned it, right? And then you have the regular one. So in this case, I'm just going to create one. I'm just going to call it Mississauga condos. And then you can have stopping clauses. You can have silent hours. So silent hours might be good if you're doing your first action as text messages, because people on Facebook will sign up in the middle of the night. So let's say we want it from, I'm just going to put it in here for 10 p.m. until, I should have did this the other way, 8:45 a.m. Okay, and I'm going to save it. Then we're going to do your first action, right? Your first action is going to be a text message. So we're going to do a text message. Basically, you may want to create it as a template first. That way you can just throw it in there, maybe change something, all the short codes you'll have access to. And then really it's just selecting that template, right? So I'm just going to do get the listings. This one here, that was the template for something else. And then this one, we're going to maybe send it, you know, if it Facebook lead, it could be, you know, thanks for signing up to receive listings in Mississauga under 800,000. You should have those listings in your inbox, because it is instant that it does happen. So here I'm going to have that go out. I can change different things if I need to on here, but there's the SMS, right? So you can build this out as long as you want to. We're then going to auto assign it to that source. So I'm going to, no, it is Mississauga. So this was Mississauga condos under. So anyone that comes from this source is going to be put onto this campaign. And then I'm going to set it. And those are the first two. So the first two steps that you're going to do, you guys, I will be sending you more documentation that you can follow step by step as well. Here you will go up to your Facebook integration. And this is where you're now setting that. So if I go and add the new account, this is where you would connect your Facebook account. So you're going to log in and you're going to select exactly which pages you would want to be creating an ad for. Okay. Now down at the bottom is where you have all your integrations. When you add a new integration, you're going to select the page. And for the life of me, I think it was this one, but I could be wrong. No, it was not that one. It was this one. So there's the Mississauga condos. Now, once I use this form, I cannot use it again. Okay, so that's where you want to also make sure that you're creating different forms in Facebook, because if I tried to use this form hypothetically for another campaign or on Facebook, they would also be thrown onto this CRM setup, which we wouldn't want, right? So always everything should be different when doing this. So then once we've selected your page, the form that you created, then we're going to set up the CRM system. So what do we want to happen when they sign up? We want to indicate their lead type. Now we're advertising listing, getting them to sign up for listings. So likely this is a home buyer. We're going to indicate that source. So we're just going to go Mississauga. Where is it? Okay. Come on, that's not what it was. And Facebook Mississauga condos under. Now it's Mississauga, so we're going to specify that city, right? So Mississauga. These are going to be board specific, okay? So if you wanted to add, so maybe I was doing it regional, something in Peel or something in Durham, and I have multiple cities that I'm adding, they're comma separated, no spaces. Okay, comma separated, no spaces. Same with the community. They have to be the actual board community names that you would see in your filters for the most part, and comma separated, no spaces. So exactly how you see them is how you throw them in here. Then we would select the style of home or the type of home. In this case, we were going for condos. You can multi-select, so depending on your ad. In this case, I'm just doing condo apartment. If you wanted to throw a tag on these people, you can definitely do that. It's entirely up to you. Depends on what your ad is for. If you're sending somebody listings, you would essentially select your lead gen website. That's the one that they're going to get those listings from. If you're running an ad that isn't sending anyone listings or anything like that, you wouldn't need to set that up. You wouldn't add that in there. You wouldn't select anything that has to do with criteria. In here, you will want to set a minimum to avoid listings that are maybe parking stalls, because they will sometimes get listed as condo apartments, just to eliminate them or eliminate possible rental that might pop through as well. And then, of course, your maximum price. So we put under 800,000. So we will put that number in there. And I think I did 8 million. There we go. So now we have the minimum, maximum. Now send listings right away, yes or no. Yes means that as soon as somebody signs up on Facebook, they are getting those listings in their inbox, okay, with this criteria. If we select no, it's going to delay the listings by 20 minutes. Okay, so it gives you time. So where you might want to do this is if you wanted to communicate or have a campaign initiate before they get the listing. So maybe you're advertising a listing specifically, like your listing, one of your listings, then you would probably delay this because you want to assign them to a campaign. Perhaps the first action in your campaign is an email specific to the listing that they were, signed up for, and then also indicating. So how I would do this previously would be to create an email with the link to the listing, but also letting them know that I've also set you up to receive similar priced and type properties in the area should this one not be quite what you were looking for. So then we're not just getting a lead for one property. We're essentially, tying them in and getting them more listings. So I'm going to go yes. So I get the listings. Now what I'm going to do is save this. All right. So now it's saved. It's in my list, Mississauga condos under 800,000. Now what I want to do as well is I need to test that form. Right. So I need to make sure that this form is going to get me the leads that I need it to. So I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to refresh. Now, previous when we were kind of using your website and stuff like that, one of the things that just mentioning was that the system is going to recognize lead duplicates based on email addresses. Okay, so when you're doing this, you got to just simply make sure that you are not using the same email address every time you're testing it. So you can preview the form. So you can see here, there it is there. And then this is an email address that I don't want to use. So I'm going to use a different one. And I'm just going to actually change that because I don't know if it'll work. Crystal, come on. Okay. 123 at agentlocator.xyz. All right, so now I'm going to go next and I'm going to finger cross that this all worked and we're going to check it out. So that's how you're testing your form. I'm going to give you guys all these links in here. So we'll see if it did. It hasn't come in yet. And it likes to give me a hard time. This is the one that I did earlier. So this is the Toronto condos. And it might give me a hard time, I'm telling you right now. Yeah, so it's going to cache my information because I haven't closed this window. So give me 1 second, folks. I am going to go and do I have access to it on here? I do. All right, I'm doing it on my other screen because it shouldn't be cached, but we will see. And let me refresh it just to make sure. And we'll see. Hopefully that one didn't cache anywhere. There we go. So I just did this one right now. So this one came through, so we can see that I tested the form. It's all set. My phone's going like crazy right now. I'm going ding, ding, ding. So what we'll see here is that we have that lead type that we selected. We have the source that we created, so obviously different than this one. We have not, it's not showing anything on there for whatever reason. I'm not sure about that one yet. It's not showing that either. So I don't know why that's not working. So I'm just going to open up the lead and make sure that everything is set. So here I can see that I got that. I've already got the listings email. So there's all the listings that are in Mississauga under 800,000. It does have the search, so it just wasn't showing on the front page. You can see that the search was set up with the Mississauga condos, 100 to 800,000. And then when we look at the SMS, there's nothing there yet because it's probably 5 minutes. But there's this one. Don't worry about this one. It's just shouldn't have been assigned. It's just based on our system here. But there's the Mississauga condos one where we can see that the next action is going to go out. It is scheduled to go out at 2 minutes from now, essentially, is what it'll do. So that's essentially how you would do that. I know there's a lot in here. I am going to be sending you all the course content. So in here, there is the Facebook stuff. So it's a little bit more step-by-step from you. It goes into setting up a business page. The whole boosting and inviting people to like your page is not going to be found in here, but it has you a lot of information, kind of taking it step by step as well. Now, depending on who your trainer is here at Agent Locator, there is some knowledge. It's not something that we typically do as part of our training. It is, I know I can do it, and I know at least one other individual in our training team that can do it. The one thing is here is we can definitely set you up and guide you through this. What we are not going to do is manage your ads. Okay, so once we get you all set up in here and kind of going, it's on you from that point forward. So if you're not feeling confident, that's when you should probably get our team to manage those ads for you. And then, as I said before, all of your ads are going to be in here, whether we're managing them or you're managing them. And again, you can turn the ad off. Right, so that was the biggest thing of letting your ad run continuously. You could always come in and turn it off, but it will show you the performance as well, right? So it'll tell you the results, the reach, the impressions, all of that stuff is going to be in here. So we can definitely assist you with getting things going. But there are some of you that are a little bit more hands-on, right? You want to learn how to do this, and or you already know, you just didn't know to what extent you can actually integrate with your system. So let me just see here. So Navita missed the first part. The recording is always going to go out following day, Navita. Once you save it, you need to include it in your Facebook. So bidding strategy, if you want to bid on the post, is kind of like you want to do the lowest bid when you're doing that. I typically stay away from that. I just, it's the lowest cost. We're going at the lowest cost is what we're trying to do. You can put in like a maximum that you're willing to spend on the bid, but we just want it to be lowest cost ultimately, right? Just lowest cost there. Does anyone have any more questions that I can answer at all? I know it's a lot of these. These are always so impactful, like so much information. So when you turn your ad, oh yeah, you can turn it back on. I can just go like this. I can go like this. I can go like this, like this. So just know that it's kind of like Google, right? So yeah, it'll start charging me. It's in draft right now. This isn't going to. So it starts charging you in here. You're spending your $5 a day, right? So it's putting your ad out there and trying to use. And sometimes it's not going to use up all your ad, your cost. It just really depends on your ad. So I wouldn't go to like, I'm going to turn it on for 5 days and then turn it off. I'm going to turn it on and then turn it off. I wouldn't do that. That's not recommended. It is essentially, it's kind of like Google, right? If you keep turning it off and on, it's not hitting its maximum potential. So you're much better at running it continuously if you can, and if you're turning off for obvious reasons you need to, because if you keep turning it on, the last thing you want to do is have an ad that's really performing well, and that's also why we don't put an end date on it, and then turning it off. You're likely not going to get that same momentum again. It can be tricky. It's just all of a sudden it was performing really well, and then you're scratching your head wondering why in the world is this not performing like it was last time. So it can trigger something. So try your best not to if you don't have to. I believe you can edit your ad after if you need to reduce the budget or things like that. But it's best not to keep turning it off and on. So you can definitely, creating and setting up a time. So if you guys want to work on this for sure, like jump in, take the plunge. You're just closing it off. It's going to be in draft, right? You're not launching anything. And even if you did launch it, it wasn't correct, and review and publish it, Facebook isn't going to launch it. It's just going to basically tell you have ad errors if it's not correct. But definitely, I've had lots of people do it where they wanted, before I hit publish, I want to make sure everything's set up properly or good to go. By all means, like that's the best way, right? So, take that plunge, take the initiative to broaden skill set and you know being able to do some marketing for yourself if you have the time. Some people just don't have the time to learn. Some people know and just don't have the time to do it themselves, right? Once you set it up once, though, every other property or every other listing that your ad you're running is going to be less time consuming to set up and create. And then it's just a matter of setting and forgetting and watching leads come in at the most part. But yeah, anyone else have any more questions? Tons of information, I know. The biggest thing for you guys, I think, is, if you're not comfortable yet with setting up ads, is, boosting posts, doing little boosts, little pushes like that. And again, you want to do that. Facebook is also very cautious, right? So if all of a sudden we went into Facebook and we set up an ad and we wanted to spend $1,000, Facebook is going to go, whoa, you've never ran ads before. Now you want to spend $1,000. So it's kind of going to raise some flags. So that's where also like those small boosts and getting people engaging and making sure you're using your page, right? You're posting on your page. So season your page. And one thing that you can do is try to do at least 5 posts a week. I know it's hard, not easy. Try to do 5 posts a week and boost at least 1 or 2 of them. And because then this is showing Facebook that you're actually using your page. Like there's an actual person behind this running the show. It's not some bot that's out there or some malicious fake account that's just trying to grab people's information ultimately. So the more you do that, so you can post your account, you can share things to your page, right? So that's a couple things. Try to only do 2 or 3 of those posts that are shared from other pages, information to your page. If you're going to do 5 posts a week, try to only have 2 of them being shared content that you just shared from another Facebook to your business page. I'm trying to post unique content that Facebook is going to like that you're posting the unique content. So boosting you can do, so minimum is $1.27. I was mistaken. You used to be able to do it for $1. So I think it's like $1. You might be able to do, $1.27 a day. So $1.30 a day. It's nothing, but it brings awareness, right? So again, you can get creative. And I can show you my most, I'm pretty sure it was this one. What ad I boosted it and got the most engagements is, I am the right one, is, where is it? Maybe it's not this page. It wasn't this one. There's another one that I did where it was like it was a dog jumping off a cliff, basically, is what it was. And I guess maybe it was on this one. It was a different one. I don't know. It should have been that one. Weird. But that one was the one that got the most, right? So this is something that I would have boosted, right? So you can post things, see if they are, but I think I had a lot of them where, let's just go posts. That's not that one, I swear. Like I've done more posts than this. Let's just see, maybe it's the feeding grid. No, it's not that. There's one where it's like literally it got me the most engagements and it was something so simple. So I don't know why I can't see it anymore because I used to be able to see it. So published, scheduled, draft. No, a lifetime. Okay, weird. I could find it earlier. I literally had it here before. So I'm not sure why it's not showing. This one here. And of course, it's not going to go. All right, so 117 people engaged with this. And really, all I did was write a little description about it, right? A little bit. We're here, and all these other people just seem to, so I ended up being able to invite, many people to my page, at least 100 of them were people that were on my page. And it's something so simple that I just wrote about it. And I didn't even create this picture. It was just something I found. So you can just go and find images, things like that, copy them. Some things that I do is you see like little, like things like this, get your own image and put the text on it and make it your own. Right. And then, this might be a little bit harder because the picture is portraying what it's saying so accurately. But other things, I see quotes all the time that people, and then they just keep sharing and sharing. They share that image, write that quote down or take a picture of it and put it on your own imagery. So you can do that again through Canva. You also have the ability, if you go on like Pixabay, and I did this on the earlier one, is to be able to, these are all free. Okay, so there's video on here. These are free for commercial use. So here, let's just say I'm looking for a sunset. Okay, so these are all free. And does that look familiar? It's on the head banner of my one page that I had. So these are all free. You can add text to them. You can do things. You could use these images to your advantage, right? So, and then it's as easy as, like, I use Microsoft Paint. I probably use something else. You might be able to upload these to Canva. I haven't used Canva in a while. Canva typically does have a lot of stuff, right? But it's a great way to kind of set the tone. It could be something to do with housing, dreaming of that next vacation property or whatever, right? So you can come up with so many different creatives in here to be able to edit things. It's a great place. And these are all just people that upload their images to Pixabay. You can be a contributor if you really wanted to. But yeah, that's about it. So engaging with your audiences, encouraging them to like your page. That's a great way to start to build up those audiences. And again, you always have, things that you may want to share from your business page to your profile. It might be easier from your profile, I suppose, or your business page. I don't know. I used to be able to do it. It could have just been something that they've changed. I'm not too sure. But you could always just copy that post as well from your business page and paste it on your profile, and people will engage in it. So that's a great way to get people that are just your regular friends to like your business page as well. But does anyone, I'm just going to wrap this up here. No more questions before we go? No, we're good. Awesome. So as I mentioned, this will be up on YouTube tomorrow. And either this one or the earlier one, probably this one. And then you will get the Zoom recording. I will send you all the links and the information in there, so that you guys have, I'll send you a link for Pixabay, for the website, for the ads manager. I think that's all I need to send you. And then we will connect again next week. And I think we're almost at an end here. I feel like there's only like 1 or 2 sessions left, is I believe. And then we're going to be looping back and starting right back from square one. I think it's going to be best for everyone. So thanks everyone for jumping on, and I hope to see you all again next week. And take care and be safe out there.